Have you ever had that feeling, you know the one, where you're running on a financial treadmill? You get a pay raise, you feel on top of the world for what, a month? And then somehow your expenses creep up and you're right back where you started, just with shinier stuff. Well, what if I told you that for a lot of us, especially high earners, that good job with a great salary is about to become your single biggest financial risk? It sounds crazy, I know, but we need to talk about this because what's barreling towards us in 2026 isn't just another small change. It's a seismic shift in how wealth is built. And your salary? Well, it's on the wrong side of the fault line.
So it really all kicks off with this idea that we're probably all a little too familiar with: lifestyle inflation. It's almost a law of physics, right? The second your income goes up, your spending just expands to fill the new space. That slightly nicer car, the bigger apartment in the better neighborhood, the vacations that get a little more exotic each year. Hey, we tell ourselves we've earned it, but Investopedia nails it right here. It's the sneaky trap that keeps us from actually getting ahead. It's what keeps people earning six figures, living paycheck to paycheck, wondering where it all goes.
So I've got to ask you, straight up, does this hit a little close to home? That feeling of running faster and faster on the treadmill, but the scenery never really changes? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know you are definitely not alone. This is the #1 symptom of what we're going to call the salary trap. And really, truly understanding this feeling is the first step to finally getting off the treadmill for good. Because believe me, the machine is about to speed up in a big way. All right, so let's put a name to the beast: the salary trap. Now, let's be crystal clear about something. This trap isn't about being underpaid or having a bad job. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about the illusion of security that a steady, high-paying job gives you. It's a warm blanket that feels safe and comfortable, but it can also make you dangerously dependent on that one single source of income. And that single source is about to get squeezed hard from two very different directions at the exact same time. This right here, this is the fundamental problem, the core of the issue. At its most basic level, a salary is a trade. You are trading your time, the single most finite, non-renewable asset you will ever have, you can't make more of it, for money. For decades, that's been a pretty decent trade. But the question we have to ask ourselves now is, what happens when the currency you're being paid in, specifically money earned from your labor, is about to be systematically devalued? That's the perfect storm that's brewing, and it's set to make landfall in 2026. So this brings us to what I'm calling the 2026 pincer. I want you to picture your paycheck just sitting there in the middle of a battlefield. From one side, an army is marching towards you, and you know the exact date and time they will arrive. From the other side, a completely new kind of force, something nobody has really seen before, is emerging from the fog, and you're caught right in the middle. Look, this isn't just me being dramatic with a metaphor. This is the economic reality that is taking shape right now. And here are the two fronts of that attack laid out side by side. On the left, you've got the tax sunset. In short, a whole bunch of tax cuts from a few years ago that have helped a lot of us, especially higher earners, are just going away. They have a hard expiration date. And on the right, you've got the AI sunrise. And I'm not talking about the AI you play around with now. This is a brand new class of AI that doesn't just help you with your work, it can do your high-value work. So let's break down exactly what these two threats mean for you. Okay, first up, the tax man. Now, this is not a guess. This isn't a prediction or speculation. This is literally written into the law as it stands today. The big tax law from 2017, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, was written with a bunch of built-in off-ramps for individuals. And unless Congress gets together and passes a new law to stop it, which, let's be honest, is not something you want to bet your financial future on, the old, higher tax rules snap back into place on January 1st, 2026. That is a hard deadline, and the clock is ticking. So what does this actually mean for the money in your pocket? Well, this simple table tells a pretty scary story. Right now, under the current rules, our tax brackets are generally lower, and the standard deduction, that's the amount of income you can earn tax-free right off the top, is almost double what it used to be. But after 2025, if nothing changes, those tax rates jump back up, and the standard deduction gets chopped roughly in half. The bottom line here is unavoidable. If you are a salaried professional, you will be taking home less money for doing the exact same amount of work. Your earned income becomes a bigger tax liability, literally overnight. All right, now for the second jaw of the pincer. And honestly, this one could be even more disruptive in the long run. When I say AI, I bet your mind immediately goes to something like ChatGPT, right? You ask it a question, it gives you an answer. Or maybe an image generator like Midjourney. I need you to put that idea aside for a moment. That is not what we're talking about here. We are talking about the arrival of something called Agentic AI. And trust me, this is a whole different ballgame. So here's what we mean by Agentic AI.
These systems are autonomous. They are goal-oriented. You don't give them a simple prompt. You give them a complex objective. Think about this. Instead of asking an AI to write a paragraph for you, you tell it, I want you to research the entire market for a new brand of coffee, identify our top 3 competitors, analyze their marketing strategies, and then draft a comprehensive business plan for launch. The Agentic AI can then break that huge goal down into smaller tasks, use tools like browsing the web, and execute the entire project with you just checking in. They're not tools anymore. They are, for all intents and purposes, digital workers. Now, to really grasp how big of a deal this is, you have to see it in historical context. The first industrial revolution gave us machines to replace muscle power. The third industrial revolution, the computer age, automated routine brain work, like crunching numbers in a spreadsheet. But this fourth revolution, the one we are entering right now, is different. It's coming for complex, high-value, non-routine cognitive labor. We're talking about the work of project managers, financial analysts, consultants, marketers, even some coders and lawyers, the very jobs that have been seen as safe for decades. And this is the part that really flips the script. The entire model of work is about to be turned on its head. For our whole careers, we've been taught to be the person who does the thing, and we use tools to help us. In this new world, AI agents are going to be the primary doers. They'll be the ones executing the tasks. The most valuable humans, and the highest paid ones, will be those who can effectively guide, manage, and most importantly, own these teams of digital workers. Just being the person who clocks in to do the work is quickly becoming the most precarious position to be in. Okay, so I know that's a lot. You're facing higher taxes that penalize your labor, and you're facing a new technology that's devaluing that same labor. It can sound pretty grim, but here's the good news. There is a way out. And it's not some new, unproven secret. It is the exact playbook that the wealthiest people have used for generations to completely sidestep the salary trap. It all comes down to a fundamental shift in your thinking, from an employee mindset to an owner mindset. This slide really lays out the two paths perfectly. On the left, you have the employee mindset. Your entire financial world revolves around your earned income, your salary. You get paid for your direct time and effort, and as they've just seen, that income is taxed at the highest possible rates. But on the right, you have the owner mindset. Here, the focus isn't on your labor, it's on entity income. This is money generated by assets and systems that you own, a business, a brand, real estate, or even a team of AI agents. And critically, this type of income is taxed far, far more favorably. So how in the world do you make this jump? It sounds big, but it starts with one single crucial move. You have to create a legal separation between you, the person doing the work, and you, the person owning the business. Even if you are a one-person show right now, a freelancer, a consultant, a creator, this is the game changer. You need to stop thinking of yourself as a person who gets paid and start operating as an entity that generates revenue. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Here is a powerful, totally legal, 3-step strategy you can use. First, you form a business entity, and for most people, an LLC is a great place to start. Second, and this is the secret sauce, you file a simple form with the IRS, Form 2553, to have your LLC taxed as an S corporation. It sounds complicated, but it's just a tax classification. And third, you split the money your business makes. You pay yourself a reasonable salary for the actual work you perform, and then you take the rest of the profit as a distribution, which is basically a payout for being the owner. And why on earth would you go through all that trouble? Here's why. It's because only your salary portion is subject to that nasty 15.3% self-employment tax that covers Social Security and Medicare. The rest of the money, your owner's distribution, is not subject to that tax. For many people, this one move can save thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in taxes every single year. You have officially drawn a line in the sand and started thinking and profiting like an owner. Now, that S-Corp strategy is an incredibly powerful first step on this path to ownership. It's your entry point. But if you take this owner's mindset to its absolute logical conclusion, if you follow it all the way to the top of the mountain where the ultra-wealthy play, you arrive at something called the family office. This is the structure the world's richest families use to run their wealth, not like a savings account, but like a full-blown corporation. And just to give you a sense of the scale we are talking about here, check out this number. A recent report found that the average family office in China manages over $4.2 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That kind of fortune is not built on a W-2 salary, no matter how many bonuses you get. It is built from the ground up on the principle of creating, owning, and managing entities that generate income. This is the absolute peak of the ownership playbook. Okay, We've looked at the threats on the horizon, we've walked through the strategic playbook to counter them, so now it all comes back to you. It comes down to a fundamental choice you have to make about how you want to navigate the future, because the economy is splitting into two distinct paths, the path of labor and the path of capital. And you have to decide which one you're going to walk. So let's quickly recap the absolute crucial takeaways from all this. First, your salary is a tool to fund your lifestyle, but it's a terrible, inefficient tool for creating real, lasting wealth. Second, come 2026, that high earned income is set to become a massive tax liability. Third, this new wave of Agentic AI will relentlessly push down the value of human labor that isn't connected to some form of ownership. And that means, fourth, that the most durable and profitable path forward is to build and own the entities and the systems that produce income for you. This is not just some interesting financial theory to think about. I want this to be a genuine call to action for you. After hearing all this, what is one thing, one small, tangible step you can take this week to start your shift from simply trading your labor to building your own capital? Maybe it's just spending an hour researching what it takes to form an LLC in your state. Maybe it's brainstorming a side project. The key isn't to have it all figured out, but just to start moving from the mindset of being the worker to being the owner of the work. Because at the end of the day, it really does boil down to this. The new economy that is emerging right before our eyes will funnel value and wealth to the people who own and direct the systems of production. And with Agentic AI, the most powerful new systems are going to be digital. So you have a choice to make. You can either be the one who owns and guides the agents, or you can be the one competing against them for a job. It's a stark choice, but it is the choice we all have to make.
Thank you for spending time with us here at the Violet Vault. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay focused and keep growing.